Oh gosh.
Like,
Oh
please.
my gosh. And we're live. Why we just Oh Lord, I cannot. Because if they don't know, this is all y'all need to know. This is how it's gonna start. And this is
Exactly.
what it is.
It just is what it is. You
It
just flow
really
right into
is.
it.
I'm laughing because before we even get into this, remember when we reconnected however many years ago that was
Mm.
when I was actually married and and I was with the I was on the road and
Mm.
we were talking about like just life,
Everything. Like
everything, and we could not stop talking
it literally just jumped right into it and kept going, and
and
it
just
just
kept
like
going. And then
I
like,
loved it. It was just
yeah,
such an organic like explosion of like great energy. It just kept on going. I'm like, yes,
right, right, because you have great energy, and as do I.
well, I mean, you got it too. So you know what I'm saying? It's just like I bounce off you, you bounce off of me, we feed off each other. And before you know it, it's just like, bam.
And
You
you
know
know,
what I
people
mean?
don't really realize how amazing that is. Like when you have energy like that,
Right,
it does something. Like for me, it does something for me. Like I love to be around people who are positive and upbeat and
right,
have great things going because then it kind
right,
of sharpens me and I'm like, oh, okay, I got you. Now let me see what I can do. All right, now let's go back and forth.
right, right. Because it's so easy. It's just too easy. Obviously, we're from the same place, so
Yes.
it's very easy to fall into a negative rut.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know,
have time for it though.
I don't want it no more. Like I
I
don't want to be
listen.
attached to it. I don't want that feeling. So as soon as I see anybody who has that same energy, who's like, I mean, if you even like have an inch of happiness and you're showing it, that's bigger than all the negativity that people like to put out on purpose. So I'm like,
Thank you.
I'm going that way. I'm
Exactly.
going to that person. That's it.
Exactly. I don't have time for all the negative Nancy's. Like, what are you
It's
doing? What are you going to
right.
do about it? And then let's move forward. But
Yeah.
hey, y'all, thank you all for joining. I see you all on. Hey, Trinola. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, Miss Aline, how are you? I'm so excited to have you all on because today is so freaking phenomenal. Let me tell you why. As you know, Thursdays is for Queen Talk. But today, we have our very first king that came to join us. And the reason why it's so special is because this king right here, I have known majority of my life.
Mhm.
So sad to say that, and we both only like 23. But hey Bridget, thank you for joining. But no, seriously, I've known him for majority of my life. We've both been able to see each other come from like we started from the bottom, now we here kind of thing.
Literally.
Being
Yeah.
able to encourage other people. We are classmates. We are from the same small town of Port Arthur, Texas.
Yay.
And we both are doing great things. So I am so excited to have my friend Ricky Getwood Jr. Woo!
Fireworks, shout out.
Hey, 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 hey. I see you all waving. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. So before we even dive into it, I'm going to allow Ricky to formally introduce himself and share with you all where you can connect with him at. Okay? Ricky, go ahead.
Awesome. So I'm just gonna just piggyback off of everything you said just now, because I'm like feeling energy through this doggone computer, and it's amazing how like we come from the same place. You understand the mindset, and I can't talk about that enough. The mindset of the place that we come from to where we are now. So typically, you hear people from where we're from, they're athletes, you know what I mean, and rappers or so on and so forth. But you don't hear too many people talking about mental health and wellness and being better. So I'm just like, y'all realize what's going on right now?
Come
Like it's
on.
just, yeah. All right, so I just had to get it out of my system. But yeah. So my name is Ricky Getwood from Port Arthur, Texas. Proud place to be from. I am a certified personal trainer, a life coach. Literally, you can just Google my name, Ricky Getwood. My company name is RPGM, which is Reprogramming Your Happiness. I'm all about finding different ways to solidify your mindset and your physical well-being. I'm all about that all day, every day. Anything to make you better, I'm all about it.
Yes, and that's
Yeah.
why I love him, you all, because it's all about being better. We don't have time to be sitting in the rut. How you gonna get out
No,
of it? He will help you get
exactly.
out the ditch. That's all I'm saying. Okay,
Hmm.
so for
Yeah.
all that need to know how to follow him, I've posted both his website as well as his IG, where you can connect with him there. As he did share, he is a certified life coach as well as personal trainer. You need some services, hit him up. You see how great he looks. You see that he's happy. He can definitely help you too. Okay.
I can't fake it, y'all. Trust me, it's hard to fake it.
Right. So listen, over the past few weeks with Queen Talk, we have been talking about this hot topic called narcissistic abuse. And it started out with one of the girls that I knew, Amy Malkin. We're really good friends. And she
Mhm.
was talking about overcoming narcissistic abuse. Her and I have had very parallel relationships with overcoming narcissistic abuse. And during that conversation, so many people was commenting. I've gotten plenty of DMs, people messaging me, wanting to know more, wanting to be educated more because they didn't realize that's what they were going through. So they started to see the similarities in the relationships that they were currently in and was like, okay, I need to get out of this. So come on and help me. And then there was a comment by a certain someone who's sitting
Mhm.
right there. And he talked about how he actually dealt with this as well. And as soon as he put that, I tell you, my phone blew up talking about, oh my gosh, we need to hear from a guy's perspective. Because, you know, people are always putting it as if it's one sided when it's not.
Right.
There are
Right.
narcissists that are women and men. There are abusers that are women and men. And
Mhm.
when he stated just a little bit about some of the things that he had went through, people wanted to hear more about it. So I said we had to have him come on. And so not only are we going to talk about his experience with abuse, we're also going to talk about how to reprogram your happiness,
Mhm.
because that's what will get you out of being the victim to being the victor. And that's
Mhm.
what this show is all about. Okay?
Man,
Run around the
you
room
just
real quick.
I was just gonna take off just now. You know what I mean? That was
Right?
whew.
So let's just dive on into it, Ricky. Now,
Absolutely.
as we stated, you know, you yourself have gone through some abuse. You've even talked a little bit about it in your book about being, you know, dealing with those different things with depression and being
Hmm.
emasculation, dealing with emasculation. And I
Right.
really want you to be able to share with the audience what your experience was. And then we'll talk about
Absolutely.
what got out of it.
Absolutely. So again, this platform is so amazing, and I felt so compelled to say something, and I always watch your stuff, even if for a few minutes, I watch it. So that particular one just hit home, and I'm noticing that there are no guys commenting, and most people don't notice, and obviously I have to disclose a lot of information, but there are a lot of guys who experience it as well. There's a lot of guys who deal with insecurities, and it's not necessarily physical. We're always thinking physical abuse
Right.
all the time. But the mental part hits men a whole lot harder than you think. Okay. Now we can talk some esoteric talk, and talk as far as manifestation, different things like that, how it actually happens and how it works and how it messes with the hormones and so on and so forth. That's another deeper talk. The thing of it is realizing that if a man doesn't know himself at all before he gets in a relationship,
Mm.
okay, and as soon as he gets in a relationship with a woman who has high expectations, and she
Mm-hmm.
says something that completely demoralizes, emasculates everything that he thinks a man should be, his testosterone level has immediately dropped. It has been scientifically proven. Okay. So obviously, we know a man's testosterone is everything he has to make him feel like a quote unquote man.
Right.
Okay. Now, the average man has these unrealistic expectations and they're completely uneducated on what we feel a man is. And I experienced it myself, having daddy issues with my dad not being around, trying to understand what it meant to be a man. Obviously, we think, oh, I got to make money. I got to have a big house. I have to have a nice body. I have to have all these different things that qualify you as a man. What is the whole six? A man who's 6 foot tall makes six figures, and anyway. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
I don't know that man. But
there's a saying, and so like men have these expectations before they get in a relationship. And so when they get with a woman who also has these high expectations of I need a man to take care of me, which typically stems from a dad not being around and having daddy issues. So now they have a man with unrealistic expectations and they're frustrated and they can't communicate in an effective way to help the man understand that this is what I need from you. Okay.
mm-hmm.
And then the man can't communicate, this is what I need to, what's this, all that I can't give you. A man, most men are so uncomfortable with saying, this is all I have to give.
Right.
Okay? And once they feel like they can't say, this is all I have to give, you know, then they already feel a tad bit insecure. Okay. So that male Manchino pride, it really kind of gets pushed to the back burner just a little bit because you already can't say how you feel.
Mm.
Okay, you can't say how you feel already. And so now the woman is thinking that you're the man, right? You're supposed to be doing this. But his limitations have already been set, but they're not communicated,
Mm.
right? So he's already feeling low before he even gets deep into the relationship. Okay. Now I know I'm probably jumping a few steps ahead, and we'll go back up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But my experience was in understanding that I didn't know myself before I got in a relationship.
Mm.
Okay, I didn't know myself well enough to get in a relationship with a woman who had high expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so getting in the relationship with her, 6 months in, realizing that this girl here, she's dated celebrities. She's dated dudes who had crazy money, uh, dudes who are super popular. You know what I mean? And here I am, pulling out to Texas. I'm just going to work. I'm going to work doing the best I can, to take care of my kids. I got an average job, right? So I literally, I literally work myself half to death
Mm.
trying to live up to her expectations.
Mm.
Okay. 3 or 4 jobs, working 7 days a week, 16-hour shifts, just trying to live up to those expectations. Oh, she had this lifestyle before because she dated this celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
She had this house because that's the guy she was with before. Okay. And so I got to a point when I literally, again, I passed out from I had a nervous breakdown. The doctor said I literally stressed myself out so much. And I was only 32 at the time.
Mm.
And they said, you literally work yourself damn near to death. Okay.
Yeah.
And your body responded as if you were having a nervous breakdown.
Mm.
The first thing that happened is I passed out and tired, and she said, "You a weak man because you can't handle it."
Ooh.
Like, oh wow. Now here I am doing all I think I can, what I mean, and everything I can to try to live up to her expectations, which is work really hard, give all I got, give everything to the relationship. And I physically got sick, ended up in the hospital with a nervous breakdown. You know, my left side of my body got paralyzed, and they literally told me that they thought I was having a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, no, your body just started breaking down because
Yeah.
it just went into shock, which is why I'm such a intentionally happy person, and I know my limitations and I set my boundaries because I'm like, I'm not going to work myself to death no more.
Yeah.
Not necessary. It makes no sense. Know what your cutoffs are, know what your stressors are, know when to stop. Okay. So that was the first thing that happened. I passed out. She was like, "You just a weak man because you can't handle it." Like, wow, really?
Mm.
But still trying to live up to somebody's expectation, I stayed in the relationship, which is how I understand. I get it. I get it. I understand. Y'all said something that's clear that most times it takes about 3 or 4 times before a person
Yeah.
decides to get out of a relationship. You said that, I was like, yep. So I got 3 stories.
Yeah.
3 times. Like, okay, that was the first one. The next one was basically I was overweight, I was stressed. I stopped working out. I got up to 360 pounds all over again. I stopped working out. I stopped taking care of myself. I gained a lot of weight. And one day she just looked at me and said, "You look disgusting." And I'm like, wow, that's like, and I'm gonna be a little bit, I don't know how graphic I can be or tell the full truth,
Listen,
but
tell
we,
the truth.
okay, no, we was getting ready to have sex,
Mm-hmm.
and I took my shirt off, and she said, "Your stomach looks disgusting. I don't want to have sex with you."
Mm.
And I'm just like, ugh. And honestly, to be completely honest with you, one of the reasons I got heavy into bodybuilding, I used that to motivate me.
Mm,
That was like, okay, it hurt, it made me depressed, made me feel sad, but from that moment on, it was like nobody would ever be able to talk to me like that again. You would
mm,
never be able to say nothing like that about me again. When somebody, like when you're in a vulnerable state and you think you're trying to do everything you can to please a person, and you're open like that, and they tell you that you look disgusting.
mm.
Okay, that's worse. I'm not. I can't say it's worse because every situation is different.
Right.
You apply a situation depending on how it affects you. But that's almost as bad as getting punched in the face.
Come on. No, but listen, I'm happy you said that though, because people, I hate when they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt. Words do hurt.
Bullshit. I don't give a damn
And
what
they
they say.
hurt just
Yeah,
as bad as a fist.
yeah,
And I remember someone sharing how, you know, you may get a slap or, you're physically hurt by your significant other, but you heal from that quicker than you heal from what they say about you
absolutely.
over and over and over again, because you start to believe that. You believe
Yeah,
that it don't matter how great you are in the world, what you have done, all of the
right.
positive things. If you listen to those negative things every single day,
Hmm.
it becomes a part of your identity, even though you don't want it to.
Absolutely. And that's been scientifically proven even
Right.
with subliminal messages. The body, technically it takes the body about 3 to 4 weeks to start healing from no matter what. That's the same thing with working out.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I'm telling people to work out, like, yo, just stick to a system for 3 to 4 weeks. It's gonna hurt, you're gonna be in pain, but your body gets used to it and your body starts to heal faster, so you can take it on even more. But how do you go inside your brain and pull out a hurt? You can't do it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. And one thing that bothers me with people when they say that, yeah, the whole sticks and stone thing, is that you don't understand. Now that I understand even more physiologically what's going on inside the body, okay, having a nervous breakdown, having hormonal issues because of the chemical imbalance that came from stress and everything else. You know what I'm saying? So when you're stressed, your body releases the cortisone. The cortisone releases fat that's inside your body. This is your vital organs, which is how I end up having hypothyroid. Okay,
Mm.
because my thyroid started messing up.
Mm.
So stressed, the cortisone, my body got all out of whack. So all that bullshit was stick. No, let me tell you, it does.
Mm.
Your
Come
internal
on.
organs are taking a beating. You
Yeah.
don't realize it. Okay,
Yeah.
your internal organs are taking a beating because your body is so anxious and so nervous, it's under tension the entire time. And when you have that much tension under your body, oh, you got your teeth. uh,
It's the substitution for wine, y'all. Leave me alone. Go.
There you go. There you go. And so when your body is under tension, okay, and it's under that much stress, just think about it. Like think about a hose. You can't. Your body's not flowing naturally.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no blood flow to the brain. And I understand even with women, I have a lot of female clients now. So when a woman is under stress, it messes up your menstrual cycle sometimes. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I got a woman be on a cycle for almost 2 months. It's like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Not realizing that it was all hormonal, it was all stress. She
Yeah.
couldn't deal with what's going on. So it's like your body is out of whack. So yes, verbal words do affect your body. Okay,
Yes.
which is why you have to immediately learn how to dismiss, not only dismiss it, you got to facilitate those thoughts and understand why it hurts you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why does the thing that person said to you hurt you so much? Okay, and the last thing that happened, it hurt, and it because I had that issues already. Um, so I was going back and forth with a lot of jobs because I had a job and I quit a job because again I was trying to live up to her expectation. That was the third time in a relationship. I was like, okay, this is number three. And then she told me the thing that literally hit me in the balls was like, you will be just like your daddy. I was like, ugh.
Ooh.
It's like shit. I already got daddy issues with my dad.
And
You know what I'm
then you
saying?
just gonna go ahead and add.
You just gonna add to it. Me and my dad are fine now. This is
Right.
back in the
Right.
day. And
But previous.
just having those dad issues, meaning that I needed something from my dad that I never got, and he wasn't around when I was in high school. All of this stuff, that people harbor and let them drag themselves, makes them allow themselves to be drugged down by. So that was like the third thing. That was like, okay, cool. In the book, and I talk about it as well. And if you read it, literally, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I planned on getting out of that relationship. I strategically plan on getting out of it.
Listen, Ricky, I'm so happy you said that too. Let me see. I see a lot of comments. Sorry, y'all, I'm not reading the comments. This is some good stuff. Look, they say that I love this conversation. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Deborah. Deborah said, damn, she's cruel. Well, she is.
Yeah, she
Works
is.
one self-esteem. Yes, it does. I'm just I had to go back and read some.
You go ahead, go for it.
But yeah, but I'm so happy you said that because I did the same thing. I told my sister once made a joke. She was like, you know, I'm a little afraid. And I was like, why? And she was talking about that I remind her of a Lifetime movie. She was like, you know, I just can see you plotting and planning, and then
Yeah,
you're free,
yeah,
and ain't nobody heard from him ever again.
yeah. That's what came up missing.
And I was like, the sad part is that's exactly what's going through my head. Oh, okay, so I know on the fourth,
Yeah,
you know, but you start to play and you plan to get out, and then
right,
sometimes you just got to be pushed, which is a whole nother conversation. But
right,
yes, so you experienced those multiple, but using those three instances to show the abuse. That
yeah.
was verbal abuse. That was belittling, which is a part of the narcissistic behavior. If you guys missed that one with JJ, let me tell you, go back and watch last week because it was phenomenal. She gave the 7 signs to know that your bae is a narcissist, and that was one of them when they
Mm,
belittle and demean you.
yeah,
You know, so hearing those type of things coming from a woman, and like you said, you didn't know who you were when you went into
right,
the relationship. So because you didn't know who you were looking to be defined through what you were doing for this
right,
person. And that's where the mess up happened because you're trying to be defined by something that you do when that doesn't
right.
make who you are. No
Oh my
matter what
God.
you do, they don't make who you are. You know, that's not
Right.
your DNA. So it's so important for you to spend time with yourself and get to know the things that make you tick. What do you love to be around? What do you don't?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have no tolerance for? Absolutely, no matter what's
Right.
going on. You know, those things. It's
Right.
so necessary for both men and women to study themselves
Right.
before trying to go and give themselves to someone else.
And that's one of the reasons, and that's so. I don't know why. I understand now why it's just studying people, understanding the scientific reasons of whatever why a person doesn't want to, understand themselves because it's scary for most people.
Yeah,
It's scary to try to understand yourself because you have to go through so many different layers of trying to figure out where did it all start from. And that's something that even in my coaching sessions I do that. I'm like, yo, it's gonna take time to get to a point where you truly understand who you are.
let's pause
Specifically
right there,
somebody,
too, Ricky. For
huh?
all of y'all, because you know both Ricky and I are life coaches. And I don't care who feelings I hurt when they be like, you know, well, how much is for one session? I don't do one sessions. Neither does he. Why?
Stop.
Because you won't find out who you are, what you need to fix in
You
one
can't
one session.
no.
Just
You will not find out who
that out.
you are in one session.
One
I tell,
session.
let me, and nowadays, here's the thing: we have to be. I'm saying we, especially as coaches and as people who are listening, you have to be 100% honest. And I like to say, just pretty much take the veil off and be
Right.
blunt nowadays, because like we're living in this. Well, I'm not going too
The
deep, but
faux reality.
apocalypse, huh?
The faux reality. That's what I call it.
Yeah, it's like everything is open already. So why would you bullshit yourself with unrealistic expectations? So I tell people, I say, look, if you want, I'm sorry, I hate to call them, but you want to be a churchgoer, that's cool. Go be a churchgoer, because some people go to church, you get a good message, don't know what the hell they heard in church.
Come
Like,
on.
what happened? Like, I don't know. So you didn't get anything. You got to feel good. And most people want a temporary motivation that doesn't last long as well
That's
at all. So you get that motivation. You go get your, oh man, I had a good time with Coach Keisha. She told me to do this, tell me to do that. But the follow through is bullshit. It ain't going to
right.
happen. You know what I mean?
Because you're not
You're
doing
going
the
to
work.
you ain't doing none of the work. So you leave out of the office, you leave off the conversation, you feel good, you're feeling great about yourself. Okay, I get it. I would never tell anybody to not do a session. I mean, I'm not saying don't do a session. What I'm saying is go in with the expectation of understanding that it takes a lot more than one session to learn
Right.
yourself. Okay. And then once you learn yourself, here's the biggest thing with learning yourself: you're able to communicate it to the person you want to be with.
Come on.
How can how can I tell you what I like if I don't know what I like at all?
Thank you.
it
That
don't make any
part right
sense.
there.
you know. So, and the funny thing is that as soon as you ask a person, "Who are you?" the first thing they start doing is talking about, "I'm a mama,
Yeah, they
I'm the
listing off
CEO of
the
a company."
different titles. Yeah.
We don't care about titles. I need you to explain who you are without the titles. And that's what most people get stumped at. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you get in a relationship with the titles and the expectations. Okay. And then
Woo!
when it comes down to you taking the veil off, okay, and revealing who you are, it's empty. There's nothing
Mm.
there. Okay. So now you're trying to fill it up with anything. And the anything that you're filling it up with is bullshit and insecurities.
Come on,
So
Ricky.
so now you got a bunch of bullshit conversations that's based on insecurities that come from a place of guilt and hurt. And both of y'all are trying to heal each other and y'all haven't healed it up at all. You know what I'm saying? So it makes
That
absolutely no
part
sense.
right there. I see the hearts. Yes. That's good, right? Just
Right. And so, like, when we get hurt, it's almost, and I'm going to be real, if you're an adult and you've been through some shit in life and you get in a relationship and you get hurt, it's almost like you asking for it. Okay, I'm gonna be careful when I say that. I'm not saying you asking to get hurt, but I'm saying is if you know for a fact there's all the body tells you every single thing. We're just not aware enough of it to pay attention and pay attention to the signs and then act on the signs. So just like when you get nervous or you feel anxious, you have a little gut feeling, or you have a little headache about something, that's your body telling you, "Hey, I'm uncomfortable with this particular thing."
mm-hmm.
But we go along with, "Oh, but," justifying your
Trying
reasons,
to
whatever.
justify.
But
Yeah.
don't justify bullshit.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense. Stop lying to
Hashtag don't
yourself.
justify bullshit. Somebody put that in. Okay, I'm stopped.
When you justify bullshit, you know what I'm saying. You actually get funked up. That's the kind of thing I said
Yeah.
before. But you know, because it's like you want the feeling of feeling good. I
Mm-hmm.
get it. You want the feeling of feeling good. The messed up part is you want the feeling of feeling good from somebody else. That's where you
Yeah.
messed up at. It's like, no, learn how to feel good for yourself. It's such an amazing feeling. I cannot make this up to you to get to a place in your life where you're just so comfortable with yourself, by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
Listen.
most amazingly relieving feeling,
And,
you
and
know?
and you know, to that point too, don't allow society to make you think that something's wrong with you just because you love you.
Yeah,
Like because you love you and you love your company and you
right,
would prefer your company over being around some energy vampires. There's nothing
right,
wrong with that.
exactly. It's
And
like,
it took
don't,
me a while to learn that because, I was single for a very long time. I'm single
mm,
now, but prior to marriage, I was single for a very long time. And for me, I enjoyed my company. I traveled the world. I did the things that I desired. I had a great career, and I did different things, but the world was telling me something had to be wrong with me simply because I didn't choose to be in a
right,
relationship or I didn't choose. Why did I not have children yet? Why was I not married yet? And, it's such, if you don't have that part, like as the foundation, it can break you because it broke me
mm-hmm,
because I felt like something was really wrong with me because I didn't have it. And
right,
sometimes, listen, to everything there's a season. Just know what season you're in and enjoy that season.
right, right. People are afraid to be themselves, which is the part where as soon as somebody telling you that you have to be a particular type of way, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't fit into society's standard and in the
Mm-hmm.
box that everybody wants, it's like, yo, do you realize? I talk to my kids every now and then. I say, go outside, let's look at the sky. What do you see?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, I see a tree or whatever. I say, keep looking. What do you see? And it was like, oh, I see a cloud. And it's like, you see a star. And before you know it, the further you start looking, the more emptiness there is. There's like nothing out there. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like while we're here, we're part of this creation. You know what I'm saying? Your purpose is to live out your creation, live out your
Yeah.
creation, but realize that within this creation, that the world is endless. Like stop putting yourself in the box. Quit
Yeah.
feeling like you have to do this particular thing when like God and life has got you to a point where it's like, yo, explain life. You can't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Explain your existence. You can't do it.
That's a
You know what
good
I mean?
comment, Bridget. I have to make sure I pay attention to the comments this time.
I'm sorry.
That
Go
is
ahead.
right. A person has to be comfortable with themselves. We are all uniquely made differently for a reason. That part,
Yes.
we are. Yes.
And embracing
Embrace it.
who you are.
Yes.
Embrace it. Be okay with that. And when you get a person who don't, here's the thing that I promise, and I wish most people would immediately start embracing this idea. If you get a person and you start talking to them about who you are, and they start looking at you funny, they're not ready for you.
Yeah.
They can't relate. It's called a relationship, not an expectationship. You know
Come
what I mean?
on. Hey,
Like
hey. Yeah.
don't get into these expectations just because everybody wants you to be a particular type of way. But now you denied yourself from being yourself because now you're in an expectation instead of a relationship. Finding
Yeah.
somebody who can relate to you.
Relate. I love it. That's good. Look, we have our classmates on too, and I didn't tell them, hey, Henry.
What's
It's
up, Henry? What's
Rhonda.
good?
Hey, Anthony. Oh,
What
I
up,
missed you,
Anthony?
Anthony. What are you up to, boy? Let's chat.
Man,
Okay, yeah,
Anthony
that
doing
was
his
really
thing.
good. Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me about when you realized that you were actually experiencing abuse, because I know for me, I can't speak for everyone else, but I know other people have said the same thing. Because you didn't really know that those were the signs, you
Right.
don't really see it as abuse, but it
Mm-hmm.
is. When did you realize that it was abuse that you were experiencing?
When I begin to question my own self with what I'm doing,
Mm,
okay? So it went from me trying to seek validation from the other person and what I was doing to me automatically questioning myself and saying, what am I doing?
wow.
So it went from external to internal. And I'm like, wait, why am I even questioning myself about what I'm doing? It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense at all. I'm supposed to be in a relationship with a person.
Yeah.
And then to be completely honest with you, I never experienced and understood depression until I got to that point. I never understood it. We're from Port Arthur, you know what I'm saying? People say you're depressed, go outside, play. You
Right.
know,
And you be all right.
you go do so. You know, you depressed. All right, what up, boy? Go pray. Ha shabba la la. Let the Lord pray for
Yeah.
you. You good to go. You know what I mean? And that's our way of dealing with depression. So obviously, when you say things like "I'm depressed," it's very foreign. You
Hmm.
know. But I got to a point to where again, I started. First thing was I really questioned myself and my own thoughts. You know what I mean? I really got into like a dark place of questioning myself.
Mm,
Okay, and then within that dark place, I experienced nothing.
mm,
Okay. So the nothing is what made me feel debilitated, made me not want to move, made me not do anything. And that's why I even contemplated and thought about suicide. That was the first time in my life I even thought about it. It's like, I don't want to be here no more. It's
mm.
embarrassing. You know what I mean? I'm not a man. My kids don't respect me. The girl I'm with don't respect me. I ain't got shit. So, like, what else is there?
Yeah.
You know, when you get to that place, and I was like, wait a minute. I ain't gonna lie. This is the one time I promise you. This is one reason why I'm glad I'm from PA, man. Because that kind of hood kick in
That
with you real
comes
quick.
in.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm.
It comes in and be like, this some bullshit.
Right.
If you don't know what else to say, you be like, this some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's like you start realizing that the way I'm thinking is, and I hope that anybody that's listening, if you're going through depression or anything like that, hear my words carefully. I'm talking from experience. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. Can't diagnose you. I'm just telling you how I pulled myself out of depression, how I pulled myself out of the situation. Okay. So the thing about it is, I got to a point where I was like, this is some bullshit. Okay. And like, I should not feel like I'm weak.
Mm.
Long story short,
Yeah.
I shouldn't feel like I'm nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, nigga, get your ass up and do something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so that kind of hood part of me, and I think that came from me being in sports, and you know what I mean, it kind of that competitiveness.
Right.
Okay, so I took my competitive mindset, you know, and my grandfather did teach me life when he was alive. He was old school military man, where I realized to this day he had PCO. He was kind of messed up, but you know, because he came from the military, but that mindset of get up and get shit done
Mhm.
kicked in. And it
Yeah.
was like, no, get up and get it done. Don't sit here and allow yourself to be depressed. That's when I started planning, you know, getting out of a relationship. When I realized that, oh my God, I really want to kill myself right now.
Yeah.
Like,
You
do I really want to
knew
do
at
that?
that point that this can't be what it is. This can't be.
This is not,
This is
yeah,
not.
this is not
This is
living.
not what's intended for me. No,
No,
it can't.
especially, especially to somebody else's like bullshit expectation.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? This is not like my kids or my mother or somebody significant. You know what I mean? This
Right.
is a relationship that I got involved in that I allowed to mold me into this what I considered at that moment to be a weak man because of the things she was saying. There's a lot of stuff that went on, and we'll talk forever and a day about it. But those three what really got me to a super, super low place in life where I got to the point where I was like, I don't want to be here. This is just dumb.
Yeah.
You know? And so from that, again, it just clicked that, and even I do this to this day, which is like, I would never even consider taking myself out of here. Only thing I'm going to do is work my ass off. That's it. If I'm going to go, Lord, you got to be like, this is it. It's your time, bro. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm good.
Right.
But until then, it's like, no, just keep going. And so, again, I got into like strategically planning to make my exit, and that's where it kind of
like you do with a job, y'all. But it's true. That's what you have to do.
And it sounds crazy from hearing that from a man's perspective, but honestly, and it was either one or two things because I experienced a lot of, I've seen a lot of abuse growing up, what I'm saying, family members and so on and so forth. So, and those two things I told myself I'd never do as a kid growing up. I said I would never hit my wife, okay, and I would never leave my kids. Those two things I said I'd never do. Because that was just something I seen growing up. It's like, no, I'll never do it. So I was like, before I even get pissed off and put my hands on it, let me just go ahead and plan my escape.
Right.
Let me just get out. Because I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I think that is belittling. I think that's weak. Men who I'm sorry, and I don't care what man get offended.
Come on.
Who you
Men
are.
and women.
If you're a man and you put your hand on a woman, you're weak as shit.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you can't control yourself enough to realize that again, this is not saying that you're a weak woman physically, you know what I'm saying? Physically, any man could hurt and harm a woman, face up, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you're bigger, you're stronger. Why would you do that? Right. Only weak people take advantage of people who are weaker than them, you know what I'm saying? Because they feel like, they need that extra edge over them to make themselves feel important. So if you're a man and you feel like you got to put your hands on a woman, you're weak, you need help, get help, you know what I'm saying? And for the woman, don't let. Huh?
I said counseling works. Telling
it works.
Who needs it.
Trust me. I've been through
Nothing wrong with it. Hold on. Let me see what Andrew said. He says it's selfish to do something to yourself, especially when you have people that love you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's something I didn't, but pride prevents a person from reaching out, trying to get help. You're too prideful, Just like you said, that's why we talk about now. Counseling helps. Seeking help actually helps. Sometimes, again, I'll never tell a person not get to do one session, but sometimes it is that one session that changes your life.
Can kind of provoke, exactly. Move
you in that situation.
Part of where you need to go. So with that being said, though, Ricky, let's think about, okay, so you went through all of that. You made the strategic plan. Okay, it's time to go. Made your exit. How did you... well, let's first talk about what reprogram your happiness is, because then I want to go into how you got from that point to actually now teaching others to reprogram their happiness. So what is reprogram your happiness?
So reprogram your happiness is literally to you taking what you feel makes you happy and make it make sense for your life. Because see, here's the thing, to be completely honest with you, and this is what I love about what I do, the word happiness is just bait. You know what I'm saying? But happiness is really just a state of mind. You could be happy 1 second and be sad the next second. You know what I'm saying? But everybody uses the word happy and identify with, oh, I do want to be happy. Okay, cool. But guess what? You could be happy for 1 second and be like, oh my God, somebody say, give me $20. I'm happy. Cool. Here's $20. You know what I'm saying? I take 10, 20 bucks back from you. You could be sad all over again. So it's a constant exchange of I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm sad. So reprogramming your happiness literally means I can pick and choose when I want to be happy by my own standards.
Yeah.
Okay. And regardless to whatever happens, I can still always choose to go back to happiness because I have my bullet points, I have my tools, I have my go-tos. And that's something I've done for myself over the years. I don't give a damn what's going on. Yeah. And I can always find a way and a reason to be happy in a situation. Not saying I'm gonna be happy if somebody dies or anything like that, but I'm looking at it like, okay, there's a different way of looking at it. Have your moment.
Right.
After that,
don't get
back
stuck
to your happy place, man. Just go back to it. So that's the thing. So you reprogram your brain to stop looking at situations and things by everybody else's expectations of what you think happiness is. Because it's really whatever you define it to be. And it's so simple, but it's so hard to teach some people because it's not like it's everything. It's just your thing.
Yeah,
it's
that's good.
Your thing that makes you happy. So that's what reprogramming happiness is.
Ant said, Black people go to counseling 2020. Listen, be on a t-shirt. I'm telling you, melanin mental health matters.
Yes.
Get some. Just
Put
the
it on
way
your
you make sure your car is taken care of so it can keep running, you need to take care of your mind so you can keep moving forward.
exactly. And stop running on search engine light.
Come on. Stop
That
running
search
on
engine light
search
be
engine
going off, and
light.
they be like, "I get
I
it."
love that. That is too funny. So, like, knowing what reprogram your happiness is, and you went from that to now helping others to reprogram their happiness. I know that there are multiple different methods that you can use to help you reprogram your happiness. What are some that you like to actually start with when it comes to helping others reprogram their mind?
I allow people to define what they think happiness is first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And here's the thing: I've learned that being transparent and being having awesome candor is what really opens up the door for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So with having relatable topics and relatable stories, I'll share some stories with you in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I share my story with you, I'm letting you know that yo, you have this open platform right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, obviously it's between me and you. I'll never share any information outside of this. But now that you see that, yo, this is just life essentially,
Yeah.
and the stuff that you're going through can be articulated and it can be colonized. It can be put in a system that works best for your life. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and so by you being so open about yourself and your situations, and sometimes it really is just a venting session. You
Mm-hmm.
just let it all out,
But to get
get
it out.
all the shit out because obviously it's been 20, 30 plus years of you holding shit in.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that you have this moment, I don't care, most of my sessions are either from 30 to 90 minutes. Okay. You have this moment where we just break up to a random conversation. Okay. And then I'm not gonna lie, I get to a point like what's really going on?
Mm-hmm.
Again, because we have to like get out of this like trying to beat around the bush mindset. Who's trying to cover stuff up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You came here for. Here's the thing: once you go into a coach's office, and I'm gonna tell anybody this, once you go to your counselor, you have paid your money. Take
Right.
advantage of that
Right.
time. Okay, this is not the time for you. Again, I know everybody's different. I'm saying go at your own pace, but at the same time, have the mindset that you want to get better. And you already paid your money. You're already trying to get better. So be open. The more open you are, the more people like myself and Keisha can help you out because we're able to take apart the thing that you're saying, but you don't realize you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
and I guide people right back to their own place. I'm
Right.
like, yo, you realize you just answered your own question, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know
A
what I mean?
lot of times you do. You just really need to talk it out. That's it.
Yeah. Talk it out, and then once you go to counseling, like they sit down with me, there's a plan of action. I mean, sometimes I do sometimes I do the basic stuff. We do the
Mm-hmm.
SMART goals, or we do the Will of Life program. You know what I mean? Most people are just stressed out because they feel they don't have no time. They have goals, but they don't know how to map them out. So I help them do both. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at your time frame, see where you're investing all your time at. Let's cut some things out. Let's make sure you take care of yourself first before you start investing your time all over the place.
Yeah.
And then now you can go into picking up your SMART goals. You know what I mean? So being able to strategically plan myself out of a relationship, I can strategically plan your life.
I love it. I love it. And listen, it's funny, but a lot of women were like, well, how was he able to get on? Because now he's married and happy. So what did he
Right.
do? Because a lot of times, listen, abuse, especially when it's emotional and verbal, it can take a lot out of you, and it takes
Yes.
a lot of time for you to heal. So,
Right.
so many times women want to know, like, what is it that he did in order to get from that point to where he
Mm-hmm.
is now? He's super
Mm-hmm.
happy. He has it. And there's my son.
I told you go
Hey,
bust in there. Yeah.
with your straw. Okay, thank you and good day. He talking about I'm right here.
And I'm trying to do it.
But like you get to that point where you're super happy, now you've overcome these things. You were able to actually find love, the one that was for you.
Right.
You have your wife, you have your family, you look like you're living the dream, and they're like, so what in the hell did he do and how he got there? So please tell the people.
Man, let me tell you, to be completely honest, and this is one of those things that having a session, talking it out, making it make sense. Because I can give you a very cookie cutter answer, I give you a surface answer, okay? But until you really start deep diving into who you are, it's hard for you to relate to it. Now, the simple answer is this: I literally started living on purpose.
Mm.
That's the first step. I literally said I have to live on purpose because again, don't forget, I wanted to die at one point.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went from two extremes of I don't want to be in this mug to
Yeah.
be here and live on purpose. Okay. Now obviously, I've studied with a lot of like Indian mystics and like Sadhguru
Hmm.
and the Jay Shetty stuff, emoji. So I've studied a lot of Eastern philosophy with becoming one with yourself and being able to attach and detach from situations as needed.
Hmm.
So I'm not so emotionally attached to situations no more.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm some robot, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that I can be in a situation, realize my point, my place, what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm supposed to learn there, and be like, oh, okay, that's it, the end. On to the next one.
Yeah.
The problem with most people is they don't know how to emotionally detach. And if the second thing would be is this: look at every situation like it's a lesson
Hmm.
instead of a stuck situation.
Come on.
Yeah.
Stop
You're
putting
not
a period where God put a comma.
That's what you're not stuck in a situation. It's really a lesson. Okay. But we don't look at life as lessons. We look at it like, oh my God, I have to go through this particular situation and be stuck in it forever because this is my destiny. It's what everybody is expecting
Mm,
all over again. So your expectations should will keep you in some bullshit for a long ass time. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Stop doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you supposed to learn? Once you get to
Good.
a place when you learn something and you realize there's no more benefit from you, you have to
Thank you. Next.
you have to. You have to be okay with that and say, you know what, in that particular situation, in that relationship, I learned this.
Mm-hmm.
So over here, I'm not going to do that. Now you have your own personal emotional bullet points. That's what I like to call it. When you go into the next relationship, if you deal with a person who is narcissistic, you be like, that fool did A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, cool. I'm gonna get over here with this dude, and if he do E, I might him
Next.
up.
Thank you. Next.
Yes,
You
literally.
see any
You know
one
what
of
I'm
them
saying?
red flags, you better be obedient and keep it moving.
Keep it moving, but not only that, also call it out.
Yeah.
Okay. In a situation, sometimes we have a hard time, and this is where it takes tact and it takes patience. If you are in a relationship and you realize a person has an issue that they don't realize that they have,
Yeah.
you have to tactfully tell them that if you're going to be in a relationship with that person and if they're willing to work on it, okay, maybe consider sticking around.
Right. Consider.
But if yeah, consider, highly consider with your guards up, okay? You know what I mean? Uh, but if that
Laughing
person
at
is,
us. But
if you
listen,
point it out to that person, say it again.
Anthony's laughing at us.
Oh, that's why I say consider,
Consider.
because if a person's willing to work on changing, okay, because no, everybody has an issue, everybody's
Right.
flawed,
Oh,
everybody has something wrong with them. Yeah, I don't care who you are, something's
right.
wrong with you, okay. But there's also a lot of right in you, so the wrong can be righted if you start making efforts to fix it.
Yeah.
All right. Now you start making effort to fix it. That you is you. You let your guard down. You showed your vulnerability. So now you can actually be in a relationship because guess what? You open yourself up. I open myself up. I can relate to you now.
Yes.
Okay. So before I couldn't relate to you because you never opened yourself up. You had this male ego. You had this woman expectations. You were still hurt. He's still hurt. So now your whole relationship is just hurt, and somebody's going to get hurt. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah.
Is
Sorry. I
this
don't know if
still
that answered your
helping you
question.
all? No, you're fine. Is this still helping you all? I just want to make sure I don't miss anyone. Okay, good. Yes, I love seeing it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, this has been completely phenomenal. You know, you and I could talk for like ever, but we know people
Oh,
ain't
yeah.
gonna stay on here forever.
Right.
So, before we go, and if you all have any comments or question, you can go ahead and put it in the chat box right now because we are doing our wrap up. I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask me a question because I always give my guests the opportunity to ask me a question before we close out. So, do you have a question for me, Ricky?
I got tons of questions, but
Of course.
the one question that's sticking out of my head, and I know it's surface, but I know it has a deeper meaning to it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
how do you help women define themselves before they get in a relationship? What's the first thing you would tell them?
Mm. The It's so similar to you. It's really the same thing. Like getting to know who you are at the core. I do the same exercises. Tell me about you. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's great. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so tell me about you. You know,
Right.
those are the biggest things for me. So it's very, very similar and parallel to the things that you've said because I'm really big about people understanding who they are, what are your non-negotiables, because everyone
Mm-hmm.
should have some, and choosing to choose yourself before
Right.
you choose anyone else and whatever comes with them.
That's what's
Because
up.
as women, one of the biggest things that we do, because we are natural nurturers, we'll put ourselves aside. Well, not all. Some of us will put ourselves aside in order to nurture what you may see in that person,
Mhm.
even though they may not see it in themselves. You know, and then
Right.
you start working all of this to try to get that person to a specific point, and they ain't trying to get there, and you start to
Hmm.
lose you in the process. So it's so important, you know, especially when I'm helping queens and teens, I focus on identity. That's the biggest thing in the beginning.
That's,
Knowing who you are. If you don't know who you are, listen, everything else,
yeah,
it
nothing matters.
that comes in business, relationships, any type of relationship, not just the one with your spouse, but with
Hmm.
friendships, with family. Because if you don't know who you are, you'll tolerate toxicness within your family when you shouldn't as
Ooh,
well.
that's a whole nother.
So,
That's another topic for
oh,
another
another
day.
topic. Yes, yes. So it's so important to deal with identity, and I'm really big about knowing who you are in Christ versus the world. Because when you know what He says about you, whatever the world says about you, you're gonna let it just roll off.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what's up. Amazing answer as always.
Well, Ricky, I absolutely love you. You know,
Awesome.
you
Same
are
here.
like my brother from another mother. We're gonna be a part of each other's lives for the rest of our lives. Wrap
Absolutely.
us up with sharing what's your quote or scripture that you stand on that helps reprogram your happiness. What do you
Absolutely.
close us out with?
One of my favorite quotes, and I wouldn't say it's I want to kind of say I made it up. I probably heard it, but
Uh-huh.
I live on this day by day. Like life doesn't get easier; you just get better at managing it.
That's true. That's really good though.
Yeah, life doesn't get easier; you just get better at managing it and dealing with it.
Yeah.
So my thought process every single time is like every situation is going to be a challenge. You know what I mean? But it does. It's not. It's not that it's easier. I'm just better at handling it. I'm better at dealing with it.
Yeah.
So nothing is easy. You just get better at dealing with it.
Yes, 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 yes. And you know, I remember thinking about like hearing that makes me think about when people say it seems like nothing ever bothers you. Girl, if you only knew,
Sometimes,
stuff bothers me
yeah,
on a daily basis, but I'm not
every
going to
day.
allow it to take me out.
Yep.
Deal with
Just
it
get
different.
better at dealing with it.
You got to learn how to
Exactly.
manage it. I love that. I love that. Love that. Love that. Well, I
Absolutely.
thank you so much. This
Thank
has
you.
been phenomenal. Once again, if you
Yeah.
all want to connect with Ricky, you can go to his website, rpgm.us. It's in the link. It's also below his name and on his shirt. I mean, you should know how to find it. Make sure you follow
Candid.
him on Instagram and social media accounts at Ricky Getwood Jr.
Yes,
He's so
ma'am.
phenomenal. You need some assistance, he's the person to go to. And make sure you get his book. It's a phenomenal read. It's very inspirational, and it's definitely something you want to pick up. So go to his website and pick that up today.
Absolutely. And it's the ebook right now is only $10, so you can just
Ooh,
download the ebook.
there you
ten
go.
bucks. You
10
ain't
bucks.
gotta go
10
nowhere.
bucks. Get it downloaded to your phone. Start reading it tonight. All right.
Absolutely. All right. Appreciate
Thank
you,
you
Keisha.
so much. Y'all have a
Thank you.
great night. Bye.